Hello everyone. So in this video we are going to start with the IELTS reading concept. So we'll understand the basic concepts of IELTS reading. So what actually is IELTS reading? So moving forward, like we will also see the different type of questions that are asked in IELTS reading and the basic difference between your general IELTS and general reading, okay, as well as academic IELTS reading, and followed by that how the band scores are allotted for both of these, like general as well as academic reading, and also the methods of how to identify, how to find the answers, or how to solve this IELTS reading test. Okay, so the basic things in the beginning. So the test duration would be for 60 minutes. Okay, so you will be getting 1 hour for this IELTS reading test, and IELTS reading test is the second module in IELTS. So usually during on the day of test, so the first test would be usually listening. Okay, and the second test that you are going to do is the reading test. Okay, so there is a 60 minutes of time, that is complete 1 hour is given to you for this reading test, and there is no additional time to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. So that means, so in listening what happens is, so there is an additional 10 minutes time that is like to write down your or copy down your answers to your answer sheet. So while you are doing the listening test, you will be writing down the answers in the question booklet itself. Okay, whereas at the end you will be transferring. But when it comes for reading, so there is no answer transfer time. Okay, so within this 60 minutes you need to find the answers and also write down the answers in the answer sheet. So whenever you find an answer, so it is what is it, recommended that you directly write down your answers to the or write down your answers in the answer sheet. Got it, right? And say it is always recommended to write your answers in block letters. Okay, it's not compulsory that you have to write it in block letters. I mean, for listening as well as reading. Okay, so in this case it is for reading, so it is recommended to write it in block letters. So the reason I'll tell you, so might be certain places where we have to write a name of a person or might be the name of a place, likewise. Okay, so what happens is, like, the first letter has to be capitalized, correct? So sometimes might be in a hurry or might be in that stress of that examination and all, so we might tend to forget this. Okay, so to capitalize the first letter, so what happens, so our answer, if the first letter is not capitalized, if you are writing a name of a person or a place name and something like that, wherever it is necessary, so then it is considered as a wrong answer. So got it, right? So in order to avoid those kind of mistakes, so what you can do is, like, so you can write your complete answers for listening as well as reading in block letters. Got it, right? Fine. Next is the recommended time for each part. So what is the recommended time? So that would be 20 minutes. Why, I'll tell you. So the academic reading or general reading will have 3 sections in it. Okay, so 3 sections in the sense, so there will be 3 passages, or might be, for if it is for general reading, so there will be 3 sections with the first 2 sections, so there will be short notes, and then there will be a passage in your last section. Got it, right? Okay, so now 3 sections. Now for example, academic reading, so there will be a passage, and might be that passage will have somewhere around 12 or 14 questions in it. So similarly, the second section, again passage and few questions, and the third section. For general reading also the same thing. First section there will be short notes, sometimes there will be 2 short notes as well. Okay, so and then there will be few questions. Okay, and the second section also there will be some short texts. Okay, usually 1 or 2 short texts, and then there will be few questions related to that, and then the third section, it is usually a passage. Got it, right? So you have to spend around 20 minutes for each of this section. Okay, so 20 20 20, so that will make your timings to 60 minutes. Got it, right? So why I'm telling this is because especially for academic, okay, so academic reading, so there will be 3 passages with 3 difficulty levels: easy, medium, and a hard. Okay, so but usually it is not in order. Like, we cannot always say the first section is easy, the second section is medium, and the third one would be harder. Got it, right? So sometimes what happens, the last section is easier. So in that case, what happens might be if you are spending more than might be for example 30 minutes time on the first section, and then we'll be spending about 20 minutes, okay, so on the second section, and at the end, so might be the easiest passage, so we'll just have a limited time period of what is the remaining time, 10 minutes. Got it, right? So might be that 10 minutes is not sufficient to finish all the answers or to find out all the answers. So what happens, so we have lost the time, so I mean in the first section, and we couldn't complete the third easy passage. Got it, right? So definitely we are going to lose some marks over there. And since it is a easier passage, so there was a probability that we would get higher scores in that. Okay, so that is the reason I'm telling you. So the maintain this 20 minutes of time per passage, and once the 20 minute is done, so move on to your next passage, and might be later if there are certain unattended questions at the end, might be if there is some time remaining, so you can come back and do later on. Got it, right? Whereas for general IELTS, so the first the section, like it is very short note and it would be easier, and the second section is a medium note, and then the third section it is a passage. So definitely we can say like we can go in an increasing order. Got it, right? And for general section, it is not necessary that you have to utilize full 20 minutes on section 1. Got it, right? Since I said very short notes are given, so might be 15 minutes would be more than sufficient to solve this first section, and then 20 minutes on the second section, and might be 25 minutes. Okay, so additional that the 5 minutes less you had spent in the first part, right? So that additional time you can utilize on your third section. Got it, right? So total number of questions would be 40. Okay, so there are 40 questions for both academic as well as general reading. Okay. And okay, so like I said initially, so there are three sections for general training, GT, it is general training, as well as for academic. Okay, so there are three sections. Okay, so I guess you have understood the basic difference of academic as well as general training, correct? So academic, there are three passages, whereas for general training, the first two sections are short notes or short text, and the last one is a passage. Okay, so the general training might be there is a little bit lesser things to read, and usually like general training reading are simpler than that of your academic reading. But what happens is there is a difference when it comes for the marking criteria, so which I will show you now. Okay, so for example, okay, so this is an academic reading scores. Okay, so in order to might be you need a band score of 7. Okay, band score of 7. So you need to score 30 to 32, 30, 31 or 32 out of your 40 questions. Got it, right? If you score anything 30, 31 or 32, so you will be getting a 7 band. But whereas for general reading you need to score more. Okay, see, you need to score 34 or 35 in order to get that same 7 band. So like I said in the beginning, so earlier, so might be the test is simple. Okay, the general training test is simple or easier compared to that of the academic. So but the scoring criteria is a little bit different. Okay, so you need to score more marks out of 40, so in order to get your desired band scores. Got it, right? So this is the difference when it comes for academic reading as well as your general reading. Okay, so now yes, so this is the information that I have already given. So the difference between academic reading as well as the general training. Okay, so whereas like you will get passages for all the three sections in academic, whereas for it general training, so it would be like too short. Sometimes what happens in the first section, if the texts are very short, so might be there is possibility you will get 3 texts as well. Got it, right? So that is what is been said here, 2 or 3 texts in first section, and in the second section it is 2 short work related texts. Okay, work related, so I mean in the sense they can give a office scenario, or it can be something like related to some projects, okay, and presentations. Okay, so these kind of texts are given in usually section 2, and the final section, that is the third section, is usually what is that passage, and something like general topics are asked. Okay, so when it comes for the third section. Okay, so now moving forward, so what are the type of questions that IELTS reading has? Okay, so there are various type of questions. Okay, so these are few of the examples. So matching tasks. Okay, so matching tasks, so you match the following, match something like match the following. Okay, so but in this case, so say this is matching information is something like match the following. Okay, a simple match the following question attempted in our school days, correct? Okay, so this is something like that, so matching information. But there is something other than just matching information, that we are supposed to match the headings, okay, and matching features, matching sentence endings. Okay, so we are going to discuss each and every type of these questions in our following videos. Okay, so where I'll be explaining what are the things that you have to follow to find a particular answer. Okay, so along with examples. Okay, so we'll try to solve some examples as well, so that it would be very easy for you to understand the different concepts and for understanding the different type of questions as well. Okay, so similarly, so multiple choice questions, we all are aware about what is multiple choice. Identifying the information, identifying whether the given information is true, false, or not given. Okay, and identifying writer's view, we are supposed to say whether it is yes, no, or not given. Okay, classification questions, we are supposed to classify the information to certain categories. Sentence completion or normal fill in the blanks. The summary completion, fill in the blanks, but all the questions are interrelated. I mean, a paragraph is given and a few blank spaces in it. And note completion as well as table completion. Got it? So these are the different type of questions, and like I said earlier, so we'll be solving each and every type of questions in our upcoming video. So stay tuned with this channel so to understand all the concepts of IELTS reading. Okay, so now moving forward for the methods. Okay, so what are the different methods we can use to find the answers for different any type of questions might be. Okay, so usually, so there are three methods. The first one is called as scanning method. Okay, the second one is called as skimming, and the third one intensive reading or rigorous reading method. Okay, so what happens in scanning method, or what do we do in scanning method? Okay, so what happens, like I said, there will be a passage. Okay, every section will be having a passage and few questions with it. Okay, so in scanning method, so what I'll do is, like, first I'll be reading all the questions. Okay, might be there are about 11 questions or 12, 13 questions will be there. So first I'll read all the questions given in that, and what I'll try to do is, like, I'll be finding out specific keywords from the questions. Okay, keywords are the words that you can easily locate in your passage. Okay, so you are finding for particular keywords, the ones which can be easily located in your passage. And then I'll go back to my passage section, or I mean for the passage, or might be even for the short notes if it is general training reading. Okay, and I'll be scanning, or I'll be looking for those particular keywords. Okay, like I said here, so finding specific information, I mean, you can find or scan for those particular keywords. And suppose if you find those particular words or specific information, you have to read that portion in details. It's not necessary that you have to read the complete passage in details. Only wherever you find these particular keywords, right, you have to stop there and read the things in details and try to find out the answer for the given question. Got it, right? So skimming, the second method is called as skimming. Okay, in this case, so you are getting a general idea by going through the text quickly. Okay, so what are you supposed to do? Again, it's better to read the questions in the beginning. Okay, so read the questions and try to get the context that is asked in the question. Okay, what is asked? Okay, so it is easy later to skim. Okay, so then coming back to your passage, so what are you doing here? So taking a quick glance on each and every line of your passage, quick glance or quick reading we call it. Okay, so going through the text quickly. Okay, so now I said, so you are reading the question in the beginning and you are remembering the context, correct? So while reading quickly, suppose if you come across any of the context that was asked in the question or given in the question, so you stop there and read only that portion in details, might be 2 or 3 lines over there. Got it, right? And that is how you try to verify and try and find your answers for the given question. So that method is called a skimming technique. Scanning technique, you are only looking for particular words, locating information, finding answers. Skimming is you are remembering the context in the text, I mean in the question, going through the text quickly, and if you come across any of the context, stop there and read the things over there quickly and find your answers. Got it, right? And the last method, so which is called as intensive reading technique. So what is intensive reading? Intensive reading means you are reading the complete text or complete passage in details, understanding the meaning of each and every sentence that is been given, and later on you will be finding your answers. Got it, right? So that is how you find your answers. In intensive reading, so intensive reading technique, what happens? So it is utilized or used by most of the students. So sometimes what happens, students will feel it difficult to maintain timings when you are using an intensive reading technique. So that is the reason. So usual methods are going with the scanning technique or skimming technique. Okay, but there are certain aspects so where we also have to utilize this intensive reading technique as well. Okay, for might be for specific type of questions. Okay, so now it is up to you, like for which type of question which method has to be followed. Okay, so I will also be recommending you to, I mean, follow certain methods. So when we are discussing this individual type of question, so might be if you are comfortable with that, so you can follow the same methods which I have been using. Okay, so and later on might be if you are not too much confident enough in the methods that I use, so might be you can I mean practice with some other methods as well. Okay, it is up to you, like what methods to select. Okay, and might be practice in the similar methods, so don't change your methods every now and then. Okay, so what happens is if you change your methods every now and then, so might be even on the day of the exam, so we'll have that difficulty on deciding what method to be followed, and might be will might be consume a little more time in deciding the methods itself. Okay, and might be first we do scanning and then might be skimming. Okay, so don't do that. So might be when you're practicing, you need to know exactly what method has to be followed on the day of examination as well. So okay, so this is how you try and find these are the three methods that you utilize to try and find the answers in your IELTS reading. Okay, so in the upcoming video, so we'll start with a different type of questions. Like I said earlier, so we'll try to solve some examples with for every type of question, so that is asked in the IELTS reading. Okay, so subscribe to my channel, so keep updated and to get more videos on the different aspects of IELTS and to make sure that you prepare IELTS by yourself. So I'll see you in the next video, so with some more additional details regarding reading. So take care everyone.